Hey you all, Farmer Jesse here. We're doing some no-till potato trials, and I want to emphasize that word trials before we get into how we did it. Anytime I have that in the title of the video, you know, I'm not saying go out and do this. I don't know yet. It's just me kind of trying some different things. We usually do a full plot of potatoes, so we usually do 10 beds. Right now we're doing 3 because it's kind of, I'm a little nervous about it. But I kind of got this whole idea from Charles Dowding. He did a couple no-dig potato videos. I think it was a couple, at least one really good one. So go watch those videos because that's kind of what we're doing. So I'm gonna get into how we set these beds up and then how we planted them in 3 different ways. So let's do it. All right, so first things first, we had a tarp over these 6 beds here, 5 or 6 beds, 4 beds, and what we did was we essentially just pulled that off. I didn't really feel like I needed a broad fork, so I didn't broad fork any of these beds. They just felt loose enough. So they had a cover crop over the winter, then the tarp went on, then the tarp came off, and then I took the gritter and got this really awesome shot of me using it. Yep. Then I gridded all these 3 beds in the same with the 3x gritter from Neversink. And I basically just put the potatoes down on top. I don't know if you've ever cut potatoes, but you basically leave 2 eyes in each slice. You get seed potatoes. Let me stop and talk about that for a second. You need seed potatoes. Seed potatoes come without disease, right? So that's really important because the potatoes that you get in the store don't necessarily, like if you just went and bought organic potatoes, they wouldn't necessarily come without disease. So it's good to get seed potatoes. They're expensive, but they work. And they also tend to produce at a higher rate. At least that's my experience. You can't use conventional ones because they can be irradiated, which means they have no germ. So that's just something to consider. And then we don't green sprout them. I guess you could, I've never done it. But we basically just cut them the night before, let them cure overnight, and then we plant them. That overnight cure allows them to kind of harden off a little bit on the outside, oxidize a little bit, and that just keeps them from rotting, or at least that's the goal. So back to this. Pulled the tarp off, put the potatoes down on top in that grid fashion. So the top one here, that got the 3x3, but I planted that at, everything is 10 inches apart, so it's really tight spacing. The goal for that one is marbled potatoes. Marbled potatoes are roughly, I don't know, like $quarter to $half size. This one, a little tighter. These are all, there's 3 rows, but they're all 20 inches apart. Because that 3x does roughly 10 inches. So they're all 20 inches apart. And, but there's 3 rows. So those are gonna be more like new potatoes. And then this has 2 rows at 16 inches apart, roughly 16 to 18 inches apart. So, right? No, they'd be like 15 inches apart. So, 15 inches apart on that. So that's going to be full-size potatoes. And the idea is that they'll grow. I'll hill them up just a little bit, maybe with some excess compost if I need to. And then they're kind of growing right on the surface there, so I should just be able to pop them out without like actually plowing. So that's what I want to avoid. Anytime we've done our potatoes before, there's a lot of soil work involved. There's a lot of soil work involved in prepping it. There's a lot of soil work involved in hilling them. And then there's a lot of soil work involved in getting them out of the soil because potatoes don't grow down like sweet potatoes. Potatoes grow out sort of laterally, so you don't really if you can keep them from being too deep into the soil, you can in theory just pull the plant up or just dig them up with your hands. But the issue is greening, so you don't want too much light getting in there and turning your potatoes green like they would on your countertop. So that's the goal, is after they start to sprout, I'll hill them up lightly and maybe add compost where it seems like it's not thick enough. And then yeah, hopefully just yank them out. I'm also hoping to have slightly healthier potatoes. Here, you can see this green strip right here. Let's get close to it. This, you can see here, is elephant garlic. And when elephant garlic flowers, you get an allium, this really pretty allium flower. But it's good for beneficial, so I'm hoping that because we've had pest issues in the past with potato beetles and such, I'm hoping that the allium will actually bring in enough beneficials to help us with that. And then also the no-dig thing. I'm hoping that the ecology, you know, not tilling up all the worms and etc., keeping the structure all there, that will help too to make the potatoes a little stronger. So we'll see. I mean, this is a good trial, right? So I will update you all on how that goes. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you have ever experimented with this. Go check out Charles Dowding's stuff. Always check out Charles Dowding's stuff, but specifically the potato stuff. He did some really cool experiments and he does a good job of keeping track of his numbers. So, inspired by that, I'm giving it a try. Like this video if you like this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. I gotta rock. It's spring. The sun is up. Let's jam.